And we're on. Welcome. It's another Thursday night. Time for some Bingercise, where we're binging on size. No, we're binging on different exercises. And in my book, exercise is only a subcategory of movement. Movement is what we need to do all our life. We've done it since we were in the womb, even all the way till we take that last breath. So there's along the way lots of changes too. You know, you get stronger if you're doing things. Some people have an easier time to do this than others, but you could build muscle. You can increase heart and lung capacity. You're more coordinated, or maybe you have a sport you like to do, or maybe you don't do any of that, and you just naturally just have more energy. But along the way, it's aging and your lifestyle that starts shifting things. Well, fast forward to now. I'm turning 61 next week. And by the way, I'll tell you about the birthday challenge in just a minute, but I'm turning 61 next week. And things have changed a lot, even in the last 20 years. I remember when I was 40, exercises and things I did and recovery times from the exercises were different than they are now. So I need to do a lot more just movements on the floor, like I have. That's why I have this big space in this room here, so I can do what I'm going to do now. Because I'm feeling a little tired. I woke up early, couldn't get back to sleep this morning. So, excuse me, feel a little, and then went out for a long walk, a breathing walk with some easy systema running like this. Three steps for every inhale, 3 steps for every exhale. I did that for 10 minutes. It's just a beautiful day here. It was well over 60 degrees here today. So the way you approach your movement and just how you do things changes. I've found different things. My appetite has changed now that I'm 60. I don't need to eat as much, right? Did I ever need to eat as much? Probably not. But I don't have as much. I don't have that appetite where I'm always reaching for food more like I used to years ago. If I overeat too much, it really stays in my stomach more. So digestion changes a little bit. I've found that breathing exercises before bed help with that, by the way, and with sleep. We might finish with that. I have found that the mobility, joints, and flexibility, even though I've worked on that for years and years and years, needs even more attention from me now than it used to. I found that I used to be able to stay awake pretty late when I was younger. I mean, really, when I was younger, I was just out all night. I was doing stuff. Now, it gets around, if I get up in the morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock, by 10 o'clock, I'm just ready. It's 9:30. I'm ready to go to sleep. And it never used to be that way. So things change. And life's all about change. Now, if you look at the history of the world, there's been a lot of change. Not much progression in human beings themselves, ourselves, but a lot of changes. So, seeing how I feel tonight, I was thinking I would just set my clock for 10 minutes. And I'm just going to do some moves to kind of energize me, to just feel better, to get a little bit of this fatigue out of my head. And you can do this along with me. Now, if you just had dinner, maybe you don't want to, but otherwise, see if you can hold dinner off another 20 minutes, 15 minutes, let's say, and do some of this with me. What do you say, huh? Let's start by getting right here in the Sphinx. You've seen me do this one before. One of my favorite moves. If you've been sitting a lot, this is a great move for posture. Now, I wouldn't call this a move because we're still right here, but things are moving. Our body's always moving. We're breathing, right? Cells are dying and new ones are being born. Blood is moving. Lymph nodes, just all kinds are pumping. Just things are moving inside us all the time. And what's happening in our brain and the mind There's a lot of movement that we never see, but if you really, really kind of just get rid of all your thoughts and just kind of sit and just observe, you can kind of slow things down and clear your mind. You can see some of this movement. You can almost feel it. So we're going to just lay here. I'll get less esoteric in the Sphinx. So if your elbows are this far back and it makes your low back feel a little strained, slide them a little further out. Not flat, but you're on your elbows a little bit, but you don't have to be in a position where it causes you discomfort. Hold your head up, and we're going to breathe. Close your mouth, put your tongue against the roof of your mouth like this. While you're doing that, I'm going to set the clock for 10 minutes. We're going to go nonstop with different stuff. There it goes. Okay. 10 minutes on my stopwatch. So we're going to hold the Sphinx. We'll start with something easy like this. Now, I'm lifting through my back and my head. I'm not pushing my arms hard into the ground to push myself up. I'm kind of lifting myself away from the floor just a little bit. It's a subtle thing. One of the many ways just to, just get more in touch with your body. So close your mouth, breathe in and out through your nose. We're going to take a breath, an inhale of a count of 3, and then we're going to hold our breath for 3. Then we're going to take an exhale for 3, and then we're going to hold our breath for 3 after the exhale. Got that? So here we go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3. Go back, go through it a few more times. Inhale. Again. Now, let's just breathe and move your head up and down. While you're doing this, those tired eyes, maybe you've been on a computer screen for hours. Let's look at your nose as you come down. Now I'm looking up at my eyebrows and almost pulling my head up. Now I'm looking down at my nose, pulling my head up and down. Let your eyes pull you. They're connected to a lot of muscles and parts of your body, those eyes. Even if your eyesight isn't that great, that doesn't matter. Move those eyes. There's muscles in your eyes. You can work those muscles. There's a lot of little muscles in your body. Doesn't get much attention. Your eyes, neck, hands, feet. Those are spots that don't really get much attention as far as your muscles go. And they're notoriously weak and stiff in many, many, many people. Okay, hold your head up. Now, we're going to look around to your left side. Just take a few breaths here and see if you can, as you're here, hold it, breathe in and out. See if you can turn your head a little bit further as you sit here, as you lay here. I'm stretching my legs back, too. Now let's take the other side. And now I'm just going to turn my head. I'm keeping it up. Notice I'm not dropping it. Keep it up and look around. Now remember your eyes before? You do the same thing here. My head is to my left, and my eyes are already looking this way to pull me to my right. Now my eyes are looking all the way over to my left, and here comes my head following it. Feels pretty good. I took a couple deeper breaths there. Now we're on our forearms and our knees, and we're just going to rock back and forth. So don't let your head droop to the floor. Keep it up a little bit. Then come up to your hands and go a little deeper. Notice I'm on the tops of my feet, so I don't have my toes curled under like this, although you can do that. Just be aware there's more than one foot position when you do these rocks. Great stuff for your knees when done in high reps. Your back might start feeling better. I've seen that many times. Hips certainly like it. If you keep your head up and look at the horizon, it engages your back and just connects your body in a way that sitting around in a chair will never, ever, ever do. Okay, now, as I rock back, I'm going to look back as far as I can at my foot or my hip. Notice as I look back on that side how that shoulder blade drops down. So we get the shoulder blades moving around. One more time here. Okay. Now I'm going to sit, I'm going to not sit, stay with my knees on the ground like this. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can keep your knees on the ground and just turn your legs like this and walk your knees like this. 1, 2, turn. 1, 2, turn. Notice my head remains looking forward. You can also keep your knees off the ground. It's a little harder doing it this way. If this is completely undoable, I'll show you something you could also do to get a nice twisting motion in your back that's probably crying to get a nice little roll or twist or something. Okay, you could instead just do windshield wipers, which I think you've seen me do on here before. Lay on your back. You do this version, just do with your knees bent about 90 degrees, like this. You're going to roll your knees to your left and look to your left. Now I'm going to turn my head, look to my right, and then take my knees around. Here's the thing. This shoulder on this side, as the knees come down to the other side, cannot lift from the floor. It should stay tight against the floor. That will tell you how deep you can take your knees. If your knees can go all the way and your shoulder touches, fine. If it starts lifting when you go past this point, then this is as far as you go. Find your point. So this would be something else you could do. Feels pretty good. Nice stretch. And if you're holding your legs up nice and tight, nice ab strengthening, which we could turn this into a much harder exercise if you're strong enough by straightening the legs more. Like so. I just hit the bookcase, but you get the idea. Some nice twisting. Now, hold your knees like so. We're going to do what's called the egg roll. I'm going to roll to my side. In fact, let me do it from here. I think you see the view better if I do it this way. I'm going to roll to my right side. Notice my head's already over there. My knees are following along. I roll on my side. Then as I hit my side, I turn my head and look under. Now I got my head coming around. When it's gone as far as it can, the knees and everything else start following it. I do these egg rolls. I do about 25 slow ones before bed. Always feels good. Every night. So you can do these really slow. Turn your head. Turn your head. and just let it pull that first knee up. Then the other knee starts following. I'm still pulling around with my head. Super slow, you'll feel it in your abs, like you're doing a real ab exercise, and you are working your abs. Just maybe not with a way you'd expect. You don't have to lay there and bang out crunches and sit-ups. Over the years, I found, those are okay for periods of time, but there's 100 different ways which your body likes even better to work those abs. And onto your back. So we could do this slower or faster, but you got to keep that head moving. Avoid pushing with your elbow to come up. You'll get this where just the head turn and your abs turn your body all the way to the other side. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay. Let's come up on the hands and knees. I got a nice, it's not a big carpet, but it's a rectangle shape. We're going to baby crawl forward. Now sideways. Here's how it's going to work. Hands together, knees apart, or knees together, hands apart. Hands together, knees apart, knees together. And then backwards, we're just going to trace the outline of the carpet. And then we're going to come around this way. And then we're going to go back the way we came. I'm keeping my head up. And by the way, if you have a nice carpet, there's some cushioning, try this baby crawl for 10 minutes, and you tell me how your shoulders feel after doing this for 10 minutes. Why is this good? Because we're going back to original strength movements where we built tons of strength as kids, as babies, as toddlers. But more and above that, it's this motion that connects our bodies. We built shoulder strength, ab strength this way, and you'd be surprised if you let yourself go how much you might start feeling this. Now let's lay on our stomach. It's getting more complicated now. This is a salamander. I'm not really in the Sphinx. I'm kind of in a partial Sphinx. I'm going to move my elbow and knee towards each other, look back, and then go to the other side. I can do it with lifting my knee off the ground each time as well. Notice I am not turning on my side like this. That's not a salamander. Notice how my hips are staying against the floor. Pretty much just staying there. Think of how a salamander crawls, kind of that wiggly, sprawling way they crawl, if you've ever seen one. There's more difficult versions of this to do, but I don't feel like doing anything that difficult today. But I feel myself getting much warmer, doing a lot of different movements. I'm going to have to go away from you because I doubt most of you have a kettlebell in your house. I keep this. I use it every now and then for different things, not that much, but this is one really great for shoulders when you learn how to do it. This is called an arm bar. Works like this. The nice thing about a kettlebell is the weight hangs on the back of your arm like this. See that? Unlike a dumbbell, which stays at the top of your arm, or a weightlifting bar or something. Kettlebell's unique in that it hangs back like this. And the reason that's good is because as I do this arm bar, I'll show you how this works. Just watch me here. I'm going to roll to this side, keeping this arm, my right arm, vertical. I got to move this headset. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully you can still hear me. Yeah. So I keep this kettlebell right above me. I can even turn my arm in the socket, let my shoulder blade just sink towards the floor. I have trouble with this shoulder. This particular hold, by the way, this is 35 pounds. If you've never done this, you would start with almost no weight at all. And you just hold it. Notice how it's moving around. My shoulder's is getting schooled here. It's just learning what to do with this in this position. Now, you'd be surprised when you come back out of this, if you go slow, how much abs there are in this. Take it down with two hands. And I'm just going to do that one side because this shoulder kind of needed that more than the other. Then, if you got a broomstick or something, this is a piece of PVC pipe that I use, that I spray painted red, but you could use a broomstick or anything. Take your hands a little wider than your shoulders. Actually, depending on your flexibility, they may have to be really wide. And what you're going to do is old Swedish gymnastics. Stand up tall, proud chest. Take the stick over your head. Big inhale, open, take it slightly back. Then down. Nothing fancy here. Just a stretch. As you inhale, reach up a little bit, puff your chest out, get your head up over your body. Don't let it droop forward like this. Get it back over you. If you want to add a little bit more of a strength element, as you come up, you can pull outwards hard on the stick. So I'm pulling this way, hard. Now my hands aren't moving. It's an isometric contraction, and I'm really pulling out. Then I can bring my hands about the width of my shoulders, behind my head, like so. And I'm going to lift the bar. Now, if your hands are too close together, take them further apart. You don't have to do the width of your shoulders. Actually, as I'm looking at this, I think most people would be better right here. Notice my elbows are about a 90-degree bend. In here is not a 90-degree bend. So I think here with 90-degree bent elbows. As you lift, pull outwards on the stick hard. Inhaling and exhaling, pulling as you come back down. You can do this 2 or 3 times just to stretch out, get the blood flowing. Pull, 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 pull outwards. One more time. I'll get down on my knees. This is actually a great way to do it. Down on your knees, by the way. First of all, you can see it better on the screen, but it also changes things up. We take your legs, feet out of it and throw it more into your hips and back even more. Then for those that want to get a little fancy, let's see how I'm feeling today, because I'm feeling a little stiff today. This is shoulder dislocate. This is an old school one. Take the stick. Now, usually, if you're not that flexible, you should take your hands pretty wide. Now, I'm going to do it wide today. Not in here, way out here. Here's the trick. As you're doing this, you must keep straightening your elbows. Don't let everything bend like this as you do it. Press out with your hands and your elbows. You need a little tension in there, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the stick over, test it out, bring it forward. Again, inhale, exhale. Notice I'm working on getting those elbows straight. They're bent a little bit, but now that I'm here, I'm straightening the elbows. Ooh, that's stretching in those shoulders. Don't go too far with this one, please. You might only be able to go right here. That's fine. If your elbows are bent, straighten them and take an inhale, right? Like right about here. Then bring the stick back. Now, I'm back here. Straighten the elbows again. Take an inhale. Puff your chest out. Oh, that's feeling good. Now, let's see if I can do the I'm pretty much in a dislocate. You're not dislocating your shoulders. That's just a name. It's not a good name. So inhale. Straighten those elbows. Right? You can come down and around. Now, back up. Straighten those elbows. Right there. And back around. Woo! That's where you protect the shoulder with strength. So strength and flexibility, mobility are two sides of the same coin. You need both, sometimes one more than the other, but mobility, as we get older, which is maybe the most fountain of youth thing you could do, movement and being able to move freely, and your joints can move freely, is flexibility with strength. And that could be that shoulder dislocate, that's an extreme version, but it could be something simple like this spinal wave I'm going to show you. So we're just running through stuff. If you're trying this, just take what works and keep using it. This is the spinal wave. I'll show you from the side. I wave up and down with my spine. So I start in my neck. Notice my chin comes in my chest. Then I go in my upper back. I'm rolling down. Spread your feet a little bit, by the way. Now I'm rolling in my low back. When I get real close to the bottom, I bend my knees. Then I start straightening my knees and roll back up. I'm doing this slow, so you can see it. As I get to the top, I look way up and then come right back. So there's a couple other versions of this, but this one is a full spinal wave. If you're getting ready to play tennis or something, and you get good at this, you might want to start slow, and then bring it up to the speed of the game, right? Safe to do on your back because there's no load. If you've already got a glass back, though, glass means fragile, breakable, or sore back, obviously that already has a sort of load on it. But if you go easy and use your strength, so we're using a little strength. It's not a lot. Strength has many different levels. It controls the move. I heard a coach call this most stability once. Most stability, not mobility or flexibility. He just meant ability to stretch at the right time, in the right place, at the right speed, depending on what it is you want to do. That's a $100 kind of concept for what I was just showing you. Moving with some control, with some strength, right? Mobility and flexibility. The fifth foundation of Younger Than Last Year. And when you move like that a lot during the day, boy, oh boy, it just makes you feel so good. The systems in your body just respond to it so well. Digestion, your joint health. Sometimes you're fatigued, you get energized. Sluggish circulation. We can go on and on and on about stuff. But we're still moving. We're doing a little. How much time we got left? Let's see. It is, I don't know what time we started. I think we got, okay, so we're just about done. So let's do one more thing, something kind of energetic, just to finish. So I just bandied about a lot of ideas and things to try. Hopefully you tried some of them, or you are trying them right now. Last but not least, one of my favorites, and I'm going to be doing many of these during my birthday challenge, not this Saturday coming up, but next Saturday. I'll tell you about that at the end. Here's a couple of them. I showed you the baby crawl. Well, next we have, let's just do this. The bear crawl. So picture a bear with their butt higher than your head, and just walk. You can walk in circles if you want. And once you learn 2 or 3 crawls, you can go one time around the room with a bear crawl, then something more difficult maybe, time around with a Spider-Man crawl. Notice my knee goes on the outside of my elbow. I can go backwards, work my arms, and then I can even do a little bit of gorilla walks here. If you can't do this, walk your hands, step your feet. Walk your hands, step your feet. Backwards will confuse you, but it's fun to learn this stuff. You're moving in ways you haven't done maybe in forever, right? You might just want to walk it, or get on your fist like a gorilla, right? Like a gorilla prowling around the compound. So these are just ideas and things I'm sharing with you. You can use it any time of the day if you're feeling tired, or all the other things I've already talked about. Now, speaking of the birthday challenge. Birthday challenge is an event that we started, well, I've been doing it personally for many years. When my birthday was rolling around, I'd come up with a physical challenge for myself. It usually lasted half an hour, something like that, maybe a little longer back when I was younger. Challenging strength, challenging flexibility, challenging power, challenging coordination, endurance, stamina, heart and lungs, everything together. So pretty tough. It's a challenge, not a workout. It's a test, really. Just a confidence booster and check in where I am to see if I'm BSing myself, if what I'm doing is working or not. So this year we've got 9 people, me and 8 others doing the birthday challenge, completely virtual. You can go to the website and see more about it. Younger than last. There's some birthday challenge demos of some of the things I was doing. This is last year. Let me see. Oh yeah, 2020. Yes, yes. So these are some of the exercises I was doing last year. Man, last year I was in better shape than I am this year. I was just really ready for that one. And we had the lockdown, and I had to end up doing it all by myself on a live stream. But that was a 300 challenge. This year, much different. I tore a ligament in my knee over the summer doing something stupid, not fully through, but bad enough where I was. It took a little while. So I want to check my knee out with this birthday challenge. I want to check out just how things are going at 61 years old. And you can see it live streaming on Facebook on our Younger Than Last Year page, or live streaming on YouTube, also at our Younger Than Last Year page. Maybe your birthday's going to roll around, and you might want to you and I get in a powwow together. You start coming into classes, and we construct your own birthday challenge. This year, we have people doing different challenges. Some are doing what's called the deck of cards. One person's joining me in my own personal challenge. Another one has a walking the stairs challenge. She's 66 years old, and she's going for it in the park. Another one is getting off the snide challenge. She's been like a blob all during the pandemic, and several weeks ago, I got her off the couch or out of the chair. I shouldn't say off the couch. She works, but too much sitting, way too much. And to make a long story short, it wasn't working for her health. So back out to walk. She's going to do a walk, 30 minutes at 120 steps a minute, trying to do that on a hilly kind of course not far from here in a park. And for her, that's going to be a challenge. She's been working on it, so thumbs up. And so we're all doing different challenges. So what would yours be? Think about that. If your birthday was coming up, what would you like to see what you could do? Now, you can't decide the day before your birthday. You have to decide, 3, 4, 5, 6 months before your birthday. Give your body a chance, right? Give yourself a chance. Obviously, use common sense. But the birthday challenge I've just found is a great way to just kind of jumpstart your health, jumpstart your energy, jumpstart your mind, body, and spirit. It gets the good rolling. It builds up momentum. And when you do your birthday challenge and you hit your goal, then you really get some momentum going. So the age doesn't matter. The youngest one in our birthday challenge this year is 48. The oldest is 66, and we have people all in between. So I'm going to stop talking about that. I hope you can use some of the stuff I showed you today. It's nothing difficult, but I feel a lot better already, actually, just from that little bit that I did there. In fact, I gave up even looking at the stopwatch because I was explaining so many things to you all. I just decided, forget about that. Let's just do some stuff. And I'll see you next week. I thought there was something else I was going to remind. I guess not. I'll see you next week. Let's you and I do one thing each day over and over and over again to be younger than we were last year. See you then.